My name is Rachel Kahn. I am the Accreditation Coordinator in the Office of Accreditation and Assessment, which is a part of the Division of Strategic Analytics and Data Illumination. I'm going to be presenting on accreditation-related procedures. I realize that a lot of this is in the OAA procedure manual presently, which is new on the OAA website, but I just wanted to give you all an overview of what the newly established accreditation-related procedures are.
The topics covered are going to be three major areas that the accreditation-related procedures encompass. They are accreditation-related expenses, the Monday.com accreditation schedule management system, and a very general guide to accreditation-related site visit logistics. Before that, I want to talk about the purpose of these accreditation-related procedures, and after that, I want to talk about the location of these procedures in the procedures manual. I realize this is all a lot of information, but subsequently this should be helpful to you all. This presentation will also be posted on our website, so this will be available to you as a resource. I wanted to provide the purpose of these accreditation procedures and why we, meaning OAA, had to write the OAA procedure manual in the first place. Before that, I wanted to remind you that we are here to help. We are here as a resource, and we want to keep the lines of communication open. First and foremost, this brings a structure to how we handle accreditation, but to the overall functions of our team. Second, this provides guidance on accreditation tracking, logistics for site visits, and payments related to specialized accreditation. Now, next, I'm going to talk about procedures related to payment of accreditation-related expenses. This next slide involves a type of accreditation-related expenses that OAA processes. First and foremost, OAA processes the annual fees that keep you and your program/programs in good standing with your accrediting body. Those can be called annual membership fees, annual accreditation fees, whatever your accrediting body terms it. Those invoices have to come to OAA for processing. Second, any invoices for fees for consultant services for accreditation-related events or deliverables. Example, if you are hiring a consultant for a self-study, a site visit, etc. Third, invoices for site visit fees. Fourth, reimbursements for site visit team members participating in site visits, such as for the team meals, team lodging, etc. Just as an FYI, accreditation-related travel forms are processed through your dean's office as approvals are needed from your dean as well as the VPAA office. Example, if you are going to an accreditation-related conference. If you have any questions or are uncertain as to whether or not an invoice should be processed by us, please reach out to OAA sooner than later rather than letting time lapse. There has been some confusion by some programs as to what budget these fees come out of and who pays for these fees. This is something we have to clarify with our programs and stakeholders. The Office of Accreditation and Assessment processes these fees and handles all of the transactions for these fees. However, these fees do not come out of the budget of the Office of Strategic Analytics and Data Illumination, which is our office budget. So keep in mind, as it's said here, that OAA handles the processing and administrative aspects of these fees, but does not have budgetary ownership of these fees. These expenses are being charged to the individual accreditation budget cost centers for your college. Now we have the requirements for processing all expenses that are on this slide. First and foremost, forward all invoices within 7 days of receipt to rcon@kane.edu with assessment@kane.edu on copy. Also, forward them early before the deadline in order to avoid consequences both by your accrediting body and university procurement and business services, and also to allow sufficient processing time. Remember, the financial house is working for the whole university, so we do have to be fair to them and allow them sufficient time to do their jobs as well. Be sure to have all invoices in invoice format, as per accounts payable. The link is included in the procedure manual. We do not want to delay the process further. That adds an extra step to the process. Also, make sure all information surrounding the invoice is finalized and accurate before sending to OAA, including and especially fee amounts and calculations. Having incorrect information on the invoice will make us have to go through the process all over again, which will cause delays. To obtain a consultant for an accreditation-related event, such as a self-study, there are a few documents needed for consultants. There is a professional services agreement template that is needed to be filled out by the consultant and then submitted for review by the assistant counsel for purchasing. Additionally, a W-9 form needs to be on file for the consultant if it is not already with procurement. Hopefully, all of you know what the W-9 form is and looks like by now. If the vendor has a total of $15,000 or more of aggregate purchase orders with Keen, a BRC business registration certificate is needed. That threshold is set by procurement. Services for consultants are almost always categorized under professional services and are charged against the professional services code on your department budget. If multiple payments are over a fiscal year for the consultant, a BPO will be set up. Again, consult procurement for your best guidance. Next, I'm going to transition to talking about the accreditation schedule management system on Monday.com, which is the project management platform that Kean University uses. So the Monday.com accreditation schedule management system was designed to streamline and organize dates surrounding accreditation-related events, deliverables, and financials. Kean University has been using the Monday.com project management software across the board. Other departments have had great success with using this platform to streamline workflow and manage tasks. With respect to accreditation, this system is used to streamline accreditation-related workflow. It provides an organized way to view all dates and documentation in one centralized location. All deans and chairs have access to the boards that are representative of their college, as well as other designated staff. No need to worry, more detailed training of this accreditation schedule management system will be provided in the upcoming months to familiarize stakeholders with the system. Also, if you would like more individualized training on this system, please feel free to reach out to our office and that can be arranged. If there are any individuals that need access to Monday.com from your college, please send an email to rcon@kean.edu with assessment@kean.edu on copy. OAA will grant access to the board specific to your college. I have compiled a list of stakeholders that have access to Monday.com. First and foremost, the Office of the Provost, Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs, has access to all 6 of the college boards. Second, your deans and/or designees, i.e., associate deans, assistant deans in some cases, have access to the board from your college. Third, all chairpersons of programs with specialized accreditation and designated accreditation coordinators have access to the respective board that is for your college. Also, any individuals that deans/chairs designate to have access to can also have access to Monday.com by emailing me an assessment and access request. The SADE leadership, our Senior Vice President of Administration, our Vice President of Administration, and our Associate Vice President of Administration, as well as OAA staff. I'm going to show you what Monday.com is all about. By the way, as a side note, we'll be providing more detailed training for the Monday.com boards within the next few months, so please stay tuned. Your deans and chairs in your respective departments should have access to the respective boards for your college. The OAA Accreditation Workspace, which contains all of the boards for each college, is accessible on the left of the screen. Only the board for your college will be accessible to whoever has access. I will now click on CBPM's board as an example to provide an overview of the fields that are within the Monday.com board. If you look at your college's board, you will see the name or names of your specialized accrediting bodies that are within your college. If you scroll to the right, you will find the program or programs accredited for that accrediting body and the status of last accreditation, which indicates the accreditation status of your program or programs with the accrediting body. Next, if you scroll, you can see the link to the evidence of good standing. The evidence of good standing is usually on the website of the accrediting body, which states that the program or programs associated with the accrediting body are in good standing with the accrediting body. This contains the programs that are accredited, start and end dates for the most current accrediting cycle, and the status of accreditation for each program. Next are the accreditation documentation drives, which I will explain later, followed by the names and emails of 3 accreditation coordinators. And by accreditation coordinators, I mean those that are in charge of accreditation for those programs. Here are the spaces for Accreditation Coordinator 1 and their email, Accreditation Coordinator 2 and their email, and Accreditation Coordinator 3, as well as their email address. Next are the fields tracking dates for accreditation-related deliverables, namely annual reports. To the right, we can find date of last annual report and next annual report, meaning the upcoming annual report. Next, we can find the details related to your self-study, which are the date of last accreditation-related self-study and your accrediting body's upcoming self-study. There is also a field that indicates what administrator's signatures are required for the self-study, example being the president, the dean, etc. Next, we have a similar set of fields for your program site visit and your program's response to the site visit, such as the date of the last site visit, date of the next site visit, date of the last program response to the site visit, and date of the next program response to the site visit. These fields are followed by the site visit date of invoice, the site visit fee amount, and site visit fee due date, should there be a site visit fee assessed. These fields are followed by the administrators who are required to be in attendance for the site visit, such as the president, provost, dean, etc. Last but not least, we have fee fields for the annual accreditation fee, as well as up to 4 fees. The fee fields include the date of invoice, the due date for the fee, as well as the fee amount. And here we have the fields for the annual fee, as well as fee number 1. We see the number 1 name, fee number 1 date of invoice, fee number 1 amount, fee number 1 due date, fee number 2 name, fee number 2 date of invoice, fee number 2 amount, fee number 2 due date, and so on and so forth for fee 3 and fee 4. Now we will discuss data verification and updates for Monday.com. Data verification occurs twice an academic year, in the fall in November and in the spring in April. I will be emailing a Google Sheet with the current data that is in Monday.com. All programs are requested to review their data for accuracy and bring any changes and/or updates to my attention. Also, off of the biannual updates, please keep OAA apprised of any changes and/or updates to this data. For the accreditation documentation field that I referenced previously, the accreditation documentation links are on individual Google Drives that are linked to your accrediting body. This contains documents such as copies of annual reports, copies of self-studies, letters of good standing, etc. OAA is only authorized to upload documentation from the drives. If you have any documentation updates, please send all documentation to rcon@kane.edu with assessment and kane.edu copied. We are hoping that programs give us the most updated copies of all of their documents. We upload it on our end to the Google Drive for your accrediting body. Last but not least, we will be talking about procedures related to accreditation-related site visits. For accreditation-related site visits, the Procedures Manual outlines some guidelines related to site visits. Again, please keep in mind that the following guidelines only serve as general guidelines. Every accrediting body is different and has different standards, so these can be tailored while keeping your accrediting body in mind. However, this is just to streamline the process. I have outlined some of the important aspects that go into a successful program accreditation site-related visit. Accommodation should be booked through Kane's official travel agency, Direct Travel. The email and the phone number are provided on this slide. It is preferred to book through the Kenilworth Inn, and that is a preferred hotel to use. Please plan ahead and also keep in mind accessibility needs of the visiting team as well as all those who are attending. Provide transportation for the visiting team, both to and from the airport as well as between campus locations. To arrange transportation, there is a campus contact, Hassan Henson Jones, the manager of transportation, which is located in facilities and campus planning. Programs should develop a detailed site visit schedule that includes meetings, tours, activities, sessions, exit summaries, etc. Please do share the schedule with the visiting team well in advance. That way there are no surprises for the visiting team. Additionally, programs are requested to share the schedule with OAA at least 10 days prior to the site visit. That way we understand the whole schedule. Depending on what your accrediting body suggests, you can field these requests through gourmet dining, or you can suggest on or off-campus options. More information about the food service request process can be found on the University Procurement and Business Services, as well as the accompanying link next to meals. Please ensure all appropriate rooms and facilities are booked for all of the sessions of the site visit and your visiting team well in advance through the EMS system link. Please ensure that all technological resources are in place before the site visit. Please make sure that all technology is in place. Laptops are accessible and working, and projector screens are connected. In addition, should anything happen, please make sure all technical staff are in place for this. Make sure that you have a central area set up where all the visiting team members can access documentation, reports, exhibits, and all the necessary tangible items that are needed for the site visit. Please be sure to secure this before the site visit. Some accrediting bodies will want electronic copies of these resources. The best way to do this would be a Google Drive in which the visiting team can have access. It all depends on the accrediting body. The visiting team should be provided with adequate directions to campus as well as campus maps. You do not want the visiting team getting lost. Signage should be clear and visible to visiting team members. Again, the link to the campus map is posted next to campus maps and signage. We want to ensure that all visiting team members have a person or persons to field any questions or concerns to. Programs should establish a designated liaison who can address any of these questions or concerns. Again, communication between the institution and the visiting team is key in ensuring a smooth site visit. Also, it is key to share emergency plans and emergency exits, as well as any information related to campus safety. And last but not least, follow up. This is critical. Please work and communicate with the visiting team to establish any follow up after the site visit, including but not limited to the timeline for receipt of the accreditation decision and any other information requested by the visiting team. Again, clear and consistent communication between your program and the site visit teams are important in creating a smooth site visit and no mishaps. On this slide, I have placed the page numbers where you can find all of these procedures in detail in our OAA Procedures Manual. This OAA Procedures Manual can be found in PDF format on our website under Office of Accreditation and Assessment in the right-hand toolbar. If you click on the Procedures Manual, you will find the document. As referenced in the previous slide, the OAA Procedures Manual is our guide to our functions in OAA. Other than accreditation-related procedures, you will find out detailed procedures for all the other functions of our office, including but not limited to faculty course evaluations, academic assessment, administrative assessment, and the Watermark Assessment Management System. Again, OAA is here to help. We are here as a resource as well as support for your assessment and accreditation. As testament to our hard work for our stakeholders, these quotes demonstrate that faculty are appreciative of our efforts to assist them in their specialized accreditation needs. This concludes our presentation. If you have any further questions beyond this presentation, please email me at rcon@kane.edu and or assessment@kane.edu.